Democracy Day on June 12, a national public holiday in Nigeria to commemorate the restoration of democracy in 1999. Until 2018, Democracy Day has always been celebrated annually on May 29. It is a tradition that has been held annually beginning in year 2000. June 12 was formerly known as Abiola Day, celebrated in Lagos and some southwestern states of Nigeria before former President Muhammed Buhari changed it to Democracy Day for the remembrance of a man whom election victory was illegally annulled in 1993. However, this year Democracy Day has generated numerous actions, reactions, as well as protests from Nigerians who stormed the street carrying banners with different inscriptions to express their grievances over the state of our nation.
Today happens to be a significant day in the history of Nigeria, which has been the free and fair election that was held on June 12, 1999, which declared and makes President Muhammed Abiola MKO as the authentic president of the country, in which the occulted group powermongers have to upturn the will of the people against the people, and since then they have not gotten it right till date. And it was the same incident that forced Nigerians to send the military out of power in the year 1999. And we proceed further. We say that since 1999 that we have come back to democracy. That is that it ought to be the government of the people, by the people and for the people. But in the case of Nigerians, the will of the people are not fully represented. Look at the just concluded kangaroo election, which brought in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It shows that all these things are not done based on the itineraries and ethics and principle of democracy. And this alone has shown that our country, we are suffering from what we refer to as electoral fraud and malpractices. And this alone cannot continue. And if it continues, we cannot continue with the way and method, approach in which elections are being conducted, whereby the elections are being supervised by the same criminal element who has been in the system, who obtained the justice for the people of Nigeria against the will of its people itself. And we are saying we want a free and democratic setting whereby a son of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody.
Very much. As we all know, today is Democracy Day. And if you look at some of the emblems of democracy, they made us to understand that this is the government that can be the best for the message. But we have assessed that democracy, especially under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we summarize his government for 2 good years. And we realize that this is a government of order. This is a government of poverty. This is a government of misery. This is a government of what untold action. That is how we decided to come out. That no, this is not the kind of democracy we bargained for. When the army went back to the barracks, we were full of hopes that Nigeria will sit with the giants in the world. But unfortunately, ever since democracy came on board, since 1989, it has been for one ended with the border. And to that make matter more, the pressure and administration of ground has said it has been difficult. And it is time for that's what
Today is June 12th, the 12th of June, when a very good election was announced. Now, the question is, if it is a democracy day, are we still democratic? We've never been democratic in Nigeria. Of all the rulers of Nigeria, heads of states and presidents, only one civilian. This second civilian is behaving like a dictator. So meaning what? We have been ruled by a class of people and their friends and family members. They are grooming their children to make slaves of millions of Nigerians. Do we have even the structures we had, even inherited from our colonial evil? What did we have? We had schools, we had structures. Now they have collapsed the structures in 26 years of irresponsibility. That is why on the streets, who sensitize the people again? That until you are tired, nothing will change. And look at it, marriages are breaking down. 80 marriages per week at the High Court. What about children on drugs? Homeless children in the millions. Women are dying in the hospitals because to produce children in Nigeria is risky. What about our children? No jobs. What are we talking about? It's a bad governance. That means we are not governing people well. The policies are not right. Just this week, the head of Senate, the Senate president, was naming structures over the people in governance. Is that not an illegality? So we are out to say Nigerians are hungry.
Today, what we have is a coalition of all the civil societies in Oyo State coming together to come out today on June 12th. The whole essence of June 12th is democracy. And what we have come to realize is what we have in Nigeria is not democracy, but rather, like Fela described it, demonstration of place. Democracy is supposed to be government of the people, by the people and for the people. But what we have is democracy, which is government of the oligarchies, government of the elite, and for the elite alone. For instance, today we have military rule in Rivers State, but Tinubu is telling us we are practicing democracy. What is a military administrator doing in Rivers State? The things he has been doing is obviously against democracy. So today we are saying no to this sham thing we call democracy. We want a true democracy. We want good governance. We want end to insecurity. We want end to hunger. We want to live like human in our own country. And if Tinubu cannot do all this, then he should resign and leave the office. Just 2 years into his administration, he has put untold hardship on the Nigerians.
From May 29, 2023, we are supposed to have governance. But when we have up to today is politics. They are working for a one-party system. Later, they will talk about a zero-party system. That is not democracy. Democracy will serve the interest of the masses, not the few people. Our senator, they give them 2 billion naira for constituency project. This one the constitution at all. They give them 1 billion naira for federal house of rep for constituency project. This one that one the constitution at all. Instead of putting money for university where they are busy establishing more universities. And at the end of the day, they will say our graduates are having bread. Employment no day. Our children when they go to school, when they come out, they don't see job. That's all we're going to need.
The protesters, however, expressed their unhappiness towards millions of Nigerians dying in abject poverty, thereby urging President Ahmed Tinubu to reverse his policies to the one who truly define a democratic state.
The demand is simple. Come on well and stop killing our soldiers. Stop killing our farmers. We want autonomy of the local government. Fund Nigeria. No cottage per local government. That's what I'm trying to fund local government. Let people be employed. Let's have good roads. Let's have education for our children. Let's have good healthcare. Is that too much to ask of a government?
All the anti-people policies that has been implemented by President Ahmed Tinubu shows how rigid and unhuman and authoritarian he is. Take for instance fuel subsidy. That is the only thing Nigerian masses are benefiting from, and he take it away from them. Look at the education sector. They've increased that up from 25,000 to over 225,000 naira per student. The children of the poor cannot access free and affordable education. And Section 2 of the Constitution states clearly the fundamental responsibility of a president, and he has failed woefully in this aspect. Section 2 talks about free and qualitative education from primary, from basic to tertiary institution. Is education free now? And those that are destroying our future today, they happen to be those who benefited from free education. They are products of free education. Can President Tinubu come out and say it publicly that he was not a product of free education in Nigeria? Why are they making life difficult for we masses? High cost of living, check the price of rice and other commodities. The children of the poor cannot go to the market. They cannot eat 3 square meals a day. How are we going to continue in this nature? And you expect development? Look at the infrastructure. The just commissioned 30 kilometers. It is not up to 30 kilometers. That tells you that this government is a fraudulent one.
For more updates, join us on our social media platform or at Aturaso TV. And do well to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Aturaso TV. I am Sheriff Oyewole. Thanks for watching.